Throughout this project, we discovered that people often keep their HIV status secret, even in the most intimate relationships.
Didn't they have black cherry? Yeah.
We interviewed Keisha and Dana Daniels, a young married couple who lived in our neighborhood.
Yeah, I got the milk.
She was 18 and he was 23. Keisha is HIV positive, but she did not tell Dana that when they first got together.
I was scared, like, okay, what is his reaction going to be? Is he going to flip out and go crazy? What's his reaction going to be? I don't know.
Well, how long into the relationship did you tell him that you had HIV? Like when? How many months were y'all dating or talking? Did you tell him?
It was like 3 months.
Did y'all have sex before she told you that she had HIV?
Yeah.
Like unprotected sex?
Unprotected?
Yeah.
Wow.
So you wasn't mad?
How did you feel about that?
What did you think?
What I think, I was scared, you know? It was like, whoa, you know, this ain't just, you know, crabs or anything like that, you know, or something like that. I was just like, wow, this is something major. I was more so much upset that it was kept from me, you know? After I got past it, that day I got over, slept on it, and I decided, you know, I'm gonna stay with her because I love her.
I don't know. I felt like she betrayed him a little bit, but at the same time, how could she say that to somebody? So,
what would you have done in her place?
probably the same. If I really liked it, wait till we got in deep. And then told him, I guess. But I would have probably tried to keep us apart as far as sexual contact or whatever.
Keisha found out she had HIV when she was 14 years old. She believes she was infected by the former boyfriend who fathered her son, Antoine.
You ready to eat?
Luckily, both Antoine and Dana are negative. We also interviewed Charles Lyles, an HIV-positive man who lives in our neighborhood. He got the virus from his partner, Alfred. Alfred never told Charles he had HIV.
Did you ever see him taking any medications?
He didn't take medication because then I would find out. When I found out, he had full-blown AIDS.
Do you feel that bad that Alfred kept a secret from you and that he caused you, but you still love him? How could you do this?
Secrets is a bad thing because secrets keep people sick. I would have never left him. He was afraid that I would leave him. That's why I think HIV is so rampant in the black community, you know, because black people know how to keep secrets.
If somebody said that they had AIDS, all the people that, you know what I'm saying, had sex with them, they'll panic. And the people that had sex with that person that had sex with them will panic. So, I mean, it'll just be chaos.
Have you ever seen that panic?
Yes. In my health class, we were talking about AIDS. I ain't say her name, but one of my friends do have HIV. The boys was like, oh, what's her name? I said, I'm not going to tell you. Why don't you go get tested and see if you got it? But she has had sex with many boys in this school. And there's a chance that, yeah, y'all probably got it. And they were just like, oh, my goodness. No, I'm not going to get tested. They're not going to get tested because they're scared.
Because they'll be ridiculed. They'll be talked about. People will think you're dirty. People will think you're, well, in my family, if I don't remember anything ever happening like this in my family, but if it did, my grandma would probably tell you that you worship the devil, that you would be you would be disowned. So why is HIV such a big secret? Because it's associated with homosexuality, promiscuity, and drugs. The filmmakers did a survey at Peabody High School, another black inner-city school in Pittsburgh. Those students rated having HIV as the most shameful thing that can happen to a person, even more shameful than being a criminal.
I didn't know the whole family knew I was HIV. I only told my mother. They had the dinner all set up, you know, long table, all these plates of food, the kiddie table. There's a table in the living area, a TV tray, stand, and styrofoam plates and cups and plastic forks. And this is where I was to eat my dinner. You know, if I go to any of their houses, you could always smell bleach in the dishwater. You know, I love my family. They just don't love me.
I was born with the HIV virus. I found out when I was 6 years old. When I was in the 3rd grade, my teacher, she put me in a corner of a classroom. Maybe the classroom was like half of this size. And she put me in a corner, and like she would ignore me if I had to use the bathroom. I never went on class trips because of me being HIV positive. She used to wear rubber gloves around the classroom. And the principal was like, well, you know what? If you wasn't so public about, you know, your experience being HIV positive, maybe your daughter wouldn't be made fun of.
Working with children and families who are born with HIV, I deal with a lot in terms of the burden of secrecy, parents telling their kids. I still have parents that tell their children they have asthma or leukemia instead of HIV.
People don't feel free to say, not only am I black, not only am I poor, not only this, not only am I that, but I have AIDS. They don't want to go there. So, absent context, things may seem incomprehensible. But in the context of the 20th century, and the fact that black people basically emerged from the 20th century, you know, really, really in a kind of desperate struggle, why volunteer for one more stigma?
In Black American culture, masculinity is usually defined as being tough and heterosexual. Black men who have sex with men often feel pressure to conform to that ideal, so many of them have sex with female partners while keeping their sexual relationships with men secret. Khafri Abif told us that's what he did when he was in college. It's called being on the down low, and it's another reason why HIV is spreading in Black America.
Did you ever consider yourself on a down low?
Yes, I did, yeah. When I describe the down low for me, I'm talking about a place of having a genuine affection and love and attraction for women, but recognizing this also attraction for men, right? But confined with my shame, my guilt, my frustration, my upset about what that means to me as a black man, as a son, and as a Christian.
In the mid-1990s, the University of Illinois did a study on the so-called down low. 700 young men participated. Half were black and half were white. Dr. Joseph Stokes was one of the principal investigators.
We found very low rates of disclosure among both white men and African American men who were having sex with men and women. Their female partners, for the most part, did not know, according to the men's report. I always wonder, you know, how much do the men know about what their partners know? But they hadn't told them, at least. And I think on average, even if people were in fairly steady relationships with a female partner, most of those female partners did not know that the men were also having sex with men.
Former New Jersey Governor Jim McGreevey confessed to having a secret male lover while he was married to his wife. That's an example of being on the down low.
For many of the young black men, to see themselves as gay would mean somehow giving up part of seeing themselves as black. That if they were going to be a member of the African American community, they really couldn't be gay. And there's nothing comparable to that for white men.
So if you're gay, we kind of put you with white people because they can be open and gay. Unlike white gay men, black homosexuals and bisexuals often feel they must hide their sexual identity in order to keep their racial identity.
You know, it's kind of one of those things where if you ain't seen me doing it, you don't know nothing. You know, deny till you die, and that's kind of where I was. You know.
Clarice Jordan's entire life was changed because of her boyfriend's secrets.
I dated him all through high school. I thought I knew everything about him, but he was living a double life, to say. He was practicing some homosexual lifestyles and things, and he didn't tell me. For whatever reason, he chose not to tell me.
So your boyfriend, he died of HIV/AIDS?
Yes, he did.
Do you know if he infected anyone else?
Yes, he did. He infected a whole family. He infected a girl when she was 14 years old. She didn't find out until she had gotten married and pregnant, and she had a baby. Her baby died, she died, and her husband also died.
The down low exists in Africa and the Caribbean as well. At the 2006 International AIDS Conference, homosexuals from Africa and the Caribbean said they too must deny their sexual orientation. And that, they said, increases the spread of HIV.
To be queer is to be un-African. We do not exist. We do not exist in our countries of origin. We want to be African. And therefore, many of us deny that part of ourselves in terms of being queer.
Africa has a major problem. One of our major contributions to this, to ending the spread of this epidemic on our continent, is really to be visible.
Because in the Caribbean, homosexuality, queerness, being a lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgendered is illegal. When I go back home, I go to Tobago 2 times a year, that when I get off the plane, I can be vulnerable to any number of things. And my granny, my uncle, my mother, nobody can help me. We fear for our lives at times, so don't think that when you're handing out condoms all of a sudden, we're going to rush to the forefront.
We all wear masks. But how many masks are you going to wear, and how many layers? And at what point are you going to start taking off some of those masks so that when your life on this earth ends, somebody has actually seen you?